So today I'm going to be modeling for you how to teach the 8th grade literary analysis task shared experience lesson. You're going to want to start this lesson with this slide. Once you see that all kids have logged in using the bit.ly practice PARCC link, make sure that they've correctly selected practice tests, the correct grade, computer-based practice test unit 1. Because this is the first lesson, you might want to wait and make sure everyone logs in together. From here, you can go ahead and show kids practice tests. Again, if you want to do this together with them, grade 8, unit 1. From this point forward, I'm going to be talking as if I am teaching to a group of actual students. All right, guys, so go ahead and click start, and then you can click start again. Today, we're going to practice the work you'll need to do when you take the literary analysis task section of your PARCC test. You'll be reading some fiction passages and writing an essay about them, just as you have many times this year. We're going to do this work all together today, and then tomorrow you'll get to try it out on your own. So we know that this is unit 1 of PARCC. It's all fiction. We know that when we read fiction, narrative stories, there's a particular kind of thinking we need to do. Our thinking job for fiction is to think about the character, the motivation, the setting, the problem, solution, and then lesson learned. These are probably the most important things to be thinking about when we read stories. I know that's a lot, but the cool thing is you've already learned all this stuff this year. You just get a chance now to show what you've learned with new stories. So we're all logged in. Let's quickly review the pacing guide for Unit 1. We know that we're going to have 3 texts and an essay. In general, for the first 2 texts, you should spend about 20 minutes. So you're going to read the text, complete your thinking job as you go, and then answer the questions, which should take about 20 minutes. Do the same thing for text 2, about 20 minutes for that. And then you're going to want to leave about 40 minutes to write your essay. Your essay will be on these 2 first texts. And then after that, don't take too long on your essay because you've still got a 3rd short fiction story to read, complete your thinking job, and answer the questions, which you should leave at least 10 to 15 minutes for. So once we're in the test, this is really, really important. Once you open the test, there's a few things they're going to try and do to trick you. Some kids open it up and see, oh, there's a question there. And usually it's a vocabulary question, so some kids try and answer it without even reading the text. Like, no way, we don't do that. We know better than to read and answer a question before we actually read the text itself. Here's a little smaller trick that not everyone knows about. The test makers give you directions at the beginning of the test. Some kids don't even bother to read them, but the directions often give you a clue about the genre of the text, what you'll have to write about when you're done reading, and even what the text might be about. You always have to read these directions, so let's check them out now and see if there's any clues. Today you'll analyze passages from 2 novels. As you read these texts, you'll gather information and answer questions about the characters and the points of view so you can write an analytical essay. Oh wow, there's definitely some clues in these directions. It tells me first that I'm reading 2 passages from novels, so I'm thinking these are going to be fiction, but I'll always check once I start reading before I set up a thinking job. It's even telling me I better pay attention to the characters and the points of view in the stories. I know I've learned a lot this year about lines of dialogue and how they reveal aspects of character throughout a text, like with Ha and with Scout and with Louie. So I'll be sure to pay attention to that. And I know I'm going to have to write an essay about that very thing, characters and point of view. So it's super helpful to read those directions. So now I'm ready to start reading. I'm going to be looking out for the genre just to be sure it's fiction, and then I'll set up my thinking job annotations. I'll annotate them quickly as I find them when we read. Confetti Girl by Diana Lopez. Mom always had after-school projects waiting for me. Can you help decorate cookies? She'd say. Or, go outside and pick some flowers. Or, fix my nails, please. She loved to paint them, but since she wasn't coordinated with her left hand, her right-hand nails looked like a preschooler's coloring page. I'm going to scroll down by clicking this bar. I guess these projects were chores, but they were fun too. Now when I come home, I gotta sweep, fold towels, or scrub the bathroom sink. Dad helps, but sometimes he makes a big mess, like today. He's got flour, potato skins, and crumpled napkins on the counter. The pot boils over with brown scum, and I don't want to talk to him because I'm still mad about the volleyball game. But I have to know what he's up to. So I'm going to pause here. I thought these texts might be fiction, but now I'm pretty sure because I see characters, I see they're at home. It does not sound like nonfiction. So now that I know my genre that I'm reading, I can get my scratch paper set up. Here's another place where kids sometimes go wrong. They waste all this time and energy writing too much down on their paper. Really, all I need to do is write the thinking job for the text and plan my essay. That's all scratch paper needs. So, thinking job. Let me get my scratch paper set up. I know I fold my paper in half. You can get yours set up just the same way I am. And then I am just going to quickly write the title because I know I'm going to be reading multiple texts. And then a C for the characters, M for motivation, setting. I know I'm going to look for the problem, how it's resolved, and then the lesson learned at the end. So wait, do I know anything yet that can help with my thinking job? Ooh, maybe I need to go back and just reread quickly. Okay, so Mom always had after-school projects waiting for me. Okay, there was the mom and then the me. They would do stuff together. It says she loved to paint nails. It was talking about her mom. She has chores now, and then there was this difference when they talked about the dad. Okay, yeah, I met the dad. It says he was making a big mess. He's got lots of stuff all over the place, and she needs to know what he's up to. Okay, so I met a bunch of people here. So I'm going to start with the narrator. I don't see her name or his name. It seems like the narrator is a girl. I'm not quite sure, but it says the narrator played volleyball and helped her mom with painting nails. Boys can definitely do all those things too, but the story was called Confetti Girl. So I'm just going to write for now, narrator. It's probably a girl. I know, what else do I know about her? She's got lots of chores, and I also learned she likes to help her dad. Help her dad. Okay, I think that's all I know right now for the narrator. Oh yeah, I was also introduced to the mom and the dad. So those are all the characters I know. So what do I know about them? I'm a little confused about the mom because she only came up once here. It also says she had after-school activities and she loved to paint. And then there was this big change now when I come home. It's kind of confusing me. Like maybe she's gone because she's not there anymore. I'm not really sure. But I know she used to be kind of playful. Oh, maybe they got divorced and she's decided to, the narrator lives with her dad. Used to be playful. And she seemed like she was kind. And then what did I learn about the dad? Okay. I know he's not good at cooking, but he's trying. And that's really all I know so far. Like, he's made a big mess. I'm right, Dad. Terrible cook. But he's trying. Okay. That's all I know so far. I don't really know any motivations. Do I know anything about the setting? I actually do. It seems like it's at their house because they're cooking dinner. So they're at home. It's dinner time. Okay, don't know anything else, don't know a problem, don't know their motivations or what they want yet, so I'm going to keep reading. You can scroll down, remember to click this little skinny bar. We're back on paragraph 4. I'm going to be on the lookout for motivations and the problem coming up. What are you doing, Dad? Making dinner. I thought I'd give you a break. Except for game nights, dinner's my responsibility. I cook while Dad cleans. That's our rule. And even though I don't cook as well as Mom did, Dad never complains. Oh yeah, she must be gone. What are you going to make, I ask. Carne, guisade, and papas frites. You need a recipe for that? Are you kidding? I need a recipe for peanut butter sandwiches. How mad can a girl be at a man who makes fun of himself and wears a green frog apron that says, "Kiss the cook," and tube socks over his hands for pot holders? Okay, so now I definitely know that the narrator's a girl, but I got a little confused in this section because there's a lot of dialogue, but it's unattributed, meaning I don't know who's saying it. So I'm going to just go back and reread this section because I'm confused. So what are you making? I asked. That's the narrator. Oh, yeah. She said up here she needed to know what he was up to. What are you making? And he says in response, carne guisade and papas fritas. So that's the dad. You need a recipe for that. That's the narrator. And then it says, are you kidding? I need a recipe for peanut butter sandwiches. Okay, so the dad's like almost making fun of himself here. Got it. So this actually shows me a lot about the characters and their point of view, and I know that that's going to be important for my essay. I'm thinking even more, like, I don't think the mom that they got divorced, I'm thinking she might have died because it seems like she's really like gone, and it's kind of sensitive. I'm gonna write like the mom is either like maybe she died question mark because I'm still not sure. I also got some clues about the dad and the narrator's relationship with him. The line of dialogue, I thought I'd give you a break. Where was that? I thought I'd give you a break. That kind of shows me he's considerate. And then this line down here, I need a recipe for a peanut butter sandwich, which is really easy to make. This seems kind of like he knows he can't cook, but he's still trying to help her out. So the dad is definitely considerate towards his daughter. Can't cook, but always trying to help. So I'm just going to write that. He's considerate to his daughter. Can't cook, but really trying. I'll just add a note here, trying to help. All right. Do I know anything else? I also learned a little bit more about the narrator through her internal thoughts. Back up in line, where was it, in 11? Oh yeah, how mad can a girl be at a man who makes fun of himself, wears an apron, the socks for pot holders? This is making me think that the narrator really loves her dad. She kind of like adores him. Adores her dad and the effort he's making. I don't know anything about their motivations yet or a problem, so I'm going to keep going. We clear space on the table. Dinner's served. The beef's tough and the papas are mushy, but who cares? I pretend it's delicious because Dad lets me blabber about the Halloween carnival. He laughs out loud when I describe Vanessa's potato baby and Mrs. Cantu's creative cascarones. So I don't complain when I notice he served ranch-style beans straight from the can instead of heating them up first. Everything's great until he asks about my English class. Ooh, so there's a shift there. I'm going to pay attention to that. Any new vocabulary words? He wants to know. I guess. Maybe super something? I don't know. Can't remember. Was it supersede? He asks. Supercilious? Superfluous? I don't remember, Dad. It could have been super duper or super loop for all I care. He gets sarcasm from his students all the time, so he's good at ignoring it. Ooh, I'm going to add to my jots. Seems like the dinner is gross, but the narrator pretends it's delicious, showing she's really considerate. So I'm going to just add she is considerate towards her father. Maybe this could be part of her motivation too. It seems like she really wants to make him happy. Like she's eating tough meat and cold beans, but she's not saying anything. So maybe under motivation, the narrator, what is she motivated by? She wants to make her dad happy. Do I know anything else? Oh, I learned that the dad is an English teacher. It said his class, so I'll just add that. Her dad is a teacher. Because it said he gets sarcasm from the students all the time. All right, so I don't think I have anything else, so I'm going to keep reading, picking up on paragraph 19. Remember that super is a prefix. That means above and beyond, he says. So no matter what the word is, you can get its meaning if you take it apart. Okay, Dad, I get it. So, did I tell you we're having a book sale at our next fundraiser? What else are you doing in English? He asks. Reading any novels? Oh, I sigh, bored, but he doesn't get the hint. He just waits for my answer. Yes, I finally say. I don't remember the title, but it's got a rabbit on the cover. Is it Watership Down? It's got to be Watership Down. Yeah, that's it. But I left it in my locker. Guess I can't do my homework. Nonsense. I've got a copy somewhere. Let me look. Ooh, okay, so I learned that the father is not just a teacher, he's an English teacher. And he seems really interested in her class. So for character, I'm going to add English teacher. He's really involved. He wants to be involved with his daughter's schooling in her class. Maybe it's because she's not doing well in English class, or maybe he's just interested because he's an English teacher. But it seems like the narrator is not interested in all. So she does not want to talk about school. Not interested in talking about school with dad. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm learning about the motivation, though. I've got a lot on character, but what about motivation? I kind of want to go back because there seems to be like a hint of conflict here because she's sighing. She's trying to make him like understand something about her. Let's just quickly reread. Oh, yeah, this is kind of where it started, where she gets annoyed. Okay, Dad, I get it. So did I tell you we're having a book sale? Oh, okay, so I know she loves her dad, but this is kind of rude. She's like changing the subject. Okay, Dad, I get it. So it seems like she's kind of being rude there. And then in paragraph 22, oh yeah, this is the part I sighed, bored. He doesn't get the hint. He just waits. This is a different side of the narrator. She really doesn't want to talk to her dad about English, but that's kind of like all he wants to talk about. So maybe for motivation, like the narrator really wants to talk, add a new jot. The narrator really wants to talk about her interests with her dad, not his. Narrator wants to talk about her interests, not her father's. Not about school. So I know I should be seeing a problem pretty soon, but so far I really don't see anything major. Make sure this is all on one page. So I'm going to keep reading. It seems like there's some tension here, but I don't yet see a problem. So maybe she's like hiding a bad grade in her English class, and maybe they'll argue about it. I'm not sure, but I'm going to pick up reading on paragraph 26. He leaves the table to scan the bookshelves. Oh, yeah, that's right. So he was looking for this copy of this book. He leaves the table to scan the bookshelves, and all of a sudden, I care about the tough beef, the mushy potatoes, and the cold beans. Why should I eat when my own father has abandoned his food? Nothing's more important than his books and vocabulary words. He might say I matter, but when he goes on a scavenger hunt for a book, I realize I really don't. I take my plate to the kitchen, grab my half-finished soda, and head to my room. When I walk past him, he's kneeling to search the lower shelves. He's got a paper towel and wipes it lovingly over the titles as if polishing a sports car. He doesn't hear my angry, stomping footsteps. I catch the last part of his sentence. A classic epic journey, he says, as if he were in class with a bunch of students. I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. I'd rather have Vanessa's crazy mom. Later, just as I write, I love Luis for the 300th time, my dad peeks through my bedroom door. Whoa, okay, so I definitely need to pause here. I see the problem coming through pretty loud and clear and pretty obviously. Not all texts have such an obvious conflict, but when I think about the problem, I ask, okay, so what does the main character want but doesn't and can't have? Well, she obviously is mad at her dad. I could just write that, mad at her dad. Okay, so that's my first thought, mad at dad. But I'm going to reread just to make sure that paragraph 26, because that kind of was the turning point to really make sure I've got the problem nailed down. So go back up to 26. That's where it really shifted. Let's go back. Oh yeah, so he leaves the table and she suddenly cares about the dishes. Nothing's more important than his books and vocabulary words. He might say that I matter, but I realize I don't even matter. Whoa, okay. So this makes me think, like, is she jealous of how much he loves his job? Or is it that she doesn't want to talk about him and his interests, but her interests? So I need to put that kind of in my problem and my conflict to dig a little bit more deeper. So it's not just that she's mad at her dad. She's angry that it's almost like her father cares more about his passion for teaching than her own interests. So I'm actually going to delete mad at dad. When I reread that part, it made me think she is angry. The narrator is angry that her father, her dad, cares more about his passion for teaching than really her. She says, like, I don't matter. Whoa, okay, so this is deep. She's really mad at her dad. Now I need to figure out, like, what's the solution? Is this going to get solved? And what can we learn from how they solve it? Maybe they'll talk to each other. Maybe he'll apologize. Maybe she can express herself and why she's so mad, because she didn't really tell him. She just kind of stormed off. So let's see. Now I know I'm thinking about a solution or resolution, and I'm on line 30. Found my copy of Watership Down, he says. Wait, I need to back up. Oh, yeah, he peeks through the bedroom door. Okay. Found my copy of Watership Down, he says, handing me a paperback whose spine has been taped a dozen times. How far do you have to read tonight? The first 4 chapters, I say. That's a lot. You better get busy. Sure, Dad. I'll start reading right away. But I don't. As soon as he leaves, I put the book on my nightstand and use it as a coaster. Coaster. Oh, that's just the thing you put like your cup on. The condensation from my soda makes a big, wet circle on the cover. What? That's the end. Whoa, okay, that was not what I was expecting at all. Definitely not a happy ending. What in the world? I didn't think it would end like that. So what would the resolution, or how was it solved? How was this conflict resolved? Well, it wasn't really. So I guess I'll write that like there was no solution. The narrator is still angry. No solution mentioned. The narrator is still angry at her father. And it's like the dad didn't even realize that she was so mad. Dad doesn't realize or even acknowledge her anger. Now the even trickier part, like, what did I learn from that? Usually when I look at how a character responds, I can infer like a positive theme. But in this case, both of the characters' responses were still kind of negative. The daughter doesn't share she's mad. The dad doesn't recognize her anger. So it's almost like I have to think about a lesson learned through what not to do. So the problem was anger for like not showing interest in her life. And it wasn't resolved because the narrator doesn't communicate and the dad doesn't ask. So what can I learn from that? I mean, I don't know, maybe like talk about your frustrations or communicate when you're like upset. I'm going to try that out for now. So communicate when you or a loved one is frustrated. Because if she had just done that, he would have known why she was so upset. Whew, that was a lot of work. So let's review kind of what we did. We started way back up here and we read the directions. We thought about the genre of the text, what to think about, and what type of writing we would have to do later. So it told us to pay attention to characters' point of view, and we know we're going to write an essay. And then we set up our scratch paper right here for our thinking job. We read and we collected information on our thinking job as we went. So we also reread if we weren't sure about something, like these lines of dialogue, or when we weren't sure about the conflict or the problem. So now that first question's been sitting on the right side of our screen tempting us. We didn't try to answer it before we read and completed our thinking job, did we? No way. But now that we've read, we've completed our thinking job, we need to move on to the questions. So I see question 1. So let's read the question and answer choices together. So it says, what is the meaning of the word sarcasm as it is used in paragraph 18 from the passage Confetti Girl? So I see that the question gives me a clue. It says paragraph 18, but my screen was, all the way down here at the end. So I need to first just make sure I scroll back up and find the actual word. Okay, there it is, sarcasm. I just double clicked it and highlighted it just to keep my eyes on it. Okay, so let me make sure I'm on the right paragraph. Now I need to just reread around the word for a second just to make sure and see if I get any clues, because I don't, just looking at it, know what it means. So I'm going to go read before. Was it supersedes, merciless? Okay, I don't remember, Dad. It could have been super duper. Oh yeah, so this is the part where he asked her vocabulary word and she was kind of like super duper, super loop for all I care. So she was kind of being like rude here. And then after, so it said he gets sarcasm from his students all the time. So he's good at ignoring it. He gets blank all the time from his students. I don't see her giving him anything, but she did say something. This kind of rude statement, super dupe or super loop. So she's not giving him anything but words. Okay, so I'll hold on to that. So she's kind of being rude here. And then he just kind of ignores it after, like she says, remember that super is a prefix, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I've read before and after. So let's read through the answer choices. It says, what could sarcasm mean? A remark indicating mockery and annoyance. Okay, I don't know what mockery means, but annoyance I know. So a remark that's annoying. B, a response that's meant to be taken literally. So I know I've learned literal. That means like exactly what it says. So a response that's exact. So I've got a remark that's annoying, a comment that's annoying, a response that's exact or literal. C, an answer that indicates confusion or skepticism. Oh, that word skepticism, I don't quite know what that means, but I know the word confusion. So an answer that's confusing? And then D, I've got an observation that is silly and childish. Okay, so an observation that's silly. Someone making a comment or noting something that's either silly or like childlike. Okay, so with your partner, I want you to actually just think through each possible answer and debate. Could this be correct or could this not? Don't rule out anything right away without checking. Go ahead and turn and talk to your partner. You'll have about 60 seconds to do that, and I'm going to listen for what you're saying. Kids are turning and talking. All right, bring it back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now that you've narrowed down your list, I heard a lot of partners saying that A and C could be correct. And you're absolutely right. Let's get rid of B and D. The way that you do this, watch as I'm going to show you how to do this on your screen. I have to switch from this pointer right here, the answer selector, to the answer eliminator. So do that with me. Click the X, check your partner and make sure they have the X. And then I can get rid of B and D. I heard most of us say that A and C could be correct. Now I have to go back and click the pointer in order to select a correct answer. So what I want you to do is try rereading the paragraph by plugging in some key words from answer choice A and answer choice C to come up with your final answer. So I'm going to model that now. Okay, so the meaning of the word sarcasm. So let's plug in a remark that is it has something with mockery and annoyance. So a remark that's annoying or like mockery, maybe like to mock someone is, I've kind of heard like to make fun of, or an answer that indicates confusion, like you don't get it, or skepticism. So let's go back in and model that. It says, I don't remember, Dad. It could have been super duper or super loop for all I care. He gets sarcasms. Let's plug it in. He gets a remark or comment that's mocking or making fun of or annoyance from his students all the time. So he's good at ignoring it. Well, yeah, it is kind of like she's making fun of him, and it is kind of like her being annoyed at him. So that definitely could be it. But let's plug this one in as well. An answer that indicates confusion or skepticism. I still don't know what that skepticism word means, but an answer that shows confusion. Is she confused here? It could have been super duper or super loop for all I care. I mean, kind of. Like, it could have been shows that she could be confused in this moment. But this last part, for all I care, it's kind of more like she's annoyed at him. Like, she probably really does know the word, but she's just saying this to kind of be like mock him or show like annoyance. So in this case, I heard that you guys say you weren't sure what some of these meant, but you plugged them in and you were absolutely right. Answer choice A would be correct here. Really nice work. So again, I made sure I clicked back to my pointer so I could select answer choice A as my right answer. Whew, that was a lot. So what I want you to do is actually try the same process. Read through each answer choice. Always cross out 2. And then with your partner, come up with the best possible answer. You're going to do the same steps we just did with part B. And then numbers 2, 3, and then pause there. Okay? So you're actually just going to do it with part B and then number 2, because what I just noticed is that number 3 starts a new text. So I'm going to give you about 10 minutes with your partner. We're going to take a little bit longer for our first day. Come up with your answer for part B and number 2. You have 10 minutes. Do that now. Go. At this point, you'll want to aggressively monitor, look at student work. At this point, if you notice all kids falling into a similar misconception, pull everyone back. Do like an out loud, think aloud of the answer choices and stamp the understandings of the day. All right, guys, so you did a really beautiful job with number 1B and 2. I noticed that all of you were done with number 2, and I wanted to show you that often on PARCC, you'll see 2 texts that go together. There's actually a second text that goes with this one. You're actually going to do the same whole process that we did with Confetti Girl with this second really amazing text called Tortilla Sun. You're going to read with your partner, and I'm going to come around and see what your thinking jobs look like. They should go in this section right here. What I want to see is if you can use your scratch paper the same exact way that we did for the first text. And then once you're done with your thinking job, I'm going to come check each part of it. And then you're going to do the same thing with questions 3. Oop, we're stuck. For questions 3 through 6. Go ahead and get that started now. Go. At this point, you'll want to give kids about 15 to 20 minutes to do the second text. Same thing, you can pull kids back for each answer and do them together, but you want to at least give kids some time to share their thinking with a partner. The whole point of this day is that it's not completely independent. It's a shared experience as a class. As you go through these answer choices, again, model it the same way I modeled for the first question. If you notice all kids are noticing that 2 answers are incorrect, pull them back together, whole group, show them how you cross them out, and force kids to really do the heavy lifting of deciding between 2 answer choices. Because often our kids are leaving points on the table by selecting the second best answer choice. After you've gone through those questions, you'll want to guide kids to question number 7. This is where I'm going to pick up. All right, guys, so even though we won't have time today, I want to point out something really important. Towards the middle or end of every test, you're going to see a screen that looks just like this. It's a big open box and a prompt here. This is the place where you're going to do your 4 to 5 paragraph essay. This is really important to know about because it counts for half of your score. It's a lot of points. You're going to talk a whole lot more about your essay and the writing strategies in writing class. But note that this one question is worth a lot of your score. So let's read the prompt together and just see what we would have set up. It says, in the passages from Confetti Girl and Tortilla Sun, the narrators have points of view different from those of their parents. Okay, write an essay analyzing how these differences in points of view create tension in both stories. Remember to use details from both texts to support your ideas. So, I just want to show you, even though you'll learn a lot more of this in writing class, where you would set this up. So, on your scratch paper, you've got text 1, text 2, text 3. This is where you would set up on this section your essay plan. So I'm going to write my essay plan. In this section, this is where you're going to set up your boxes and bullets outline for this essay. So one quick note after that is that from here, remember, don't forget, you've still got that on our pacing, a third short fiction text to read. So you don't want to spend all your time just setting up and writing your essay. This is going to be the last text. Notice it's short. It's just 5 paragraphs. I told you it'd be short. But remember to save time for that at the end. And then that's it, guys. You've gone through the entire PARCC assessment. You'll see a screen that looks like this. You always want to make sure, like, don't ignore this right here. You always want to make sure it says all of your questions are answered before you click the Submit Your Final Answers button. Thank you so much, and you did an awesome job today.